YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Nadu coming back at y'all with yet another video. And yes, you saw the title. Today I'm gonna be telling y'all how reading changed my life. Let's get straight to it. Earlier on in my life, I absolutely hated reading books. I would stay away from it as much as possible. I just didn't like the idea of reading. It wasn't really the information thing. I always like getting information, but something about reading a book just felt like really boring to me and something that I didn't want to do. I hear about people reading audiobooks. I hear about people watching podcasts and stuff, this, that, the third, and they're learning from different places, even without a book. But I just didn't want any part of it. And then at some point, I hopped on YouTube, started typing in things, and I started learning things from different podcasters and this and that, the third, but there was something missing. The difference is between a book and like a podcast or anything is when you read a book and you get something like this, the author of this book has done multiple studies. He's lived through whatever he's writing. He did tons of research to make sure what he's saying is valid inside the book, so you're getting the most quality information that you can. Some of these guys have spent years actually writing these things, so there's a lot more valuable knowledge that I see inside of books than anywhere else, and I think that's one of the biggest things that really helped me start reading, is because I realized there's so much information that I'm missing out here, and I can only find it when I open this thing up. Next thing I realize is reading books, it changed my perspective. Not all books that I read were biographies. I read some nonfiction, I read some fiction books, I read all types of things. But when I was focusing on people who were talking about their life, I always got a different perspective on how people think and the way they do things. And a lot of times, if you get a different perspective, it could change the way you see the world. You would observe people differently. You might act differently. You'll judge people less because you start to understand a lot more things that are going on around you. And it's just great for overall awareness. There's a whole bunch of things that you can learn from just reading people's stories. It might not relate to you, but at the same time, it might relate to you later on in life, where you can apply it and it can help you out later on. And that's another reason why I absolutely love reading books, because reading books changed my perspectives, so I could see everything else that's going on in other people's lives, and maybe I could apply to my own to make it a little bit better. Third reason why I love reading books and it changed my life is because it enhanced my vocabulary. When you're around reading books and you're actually seeing these words on the pages, a lot of these authors will use big words because they just have time to. They're trying to perfect their craft. They're trying to perfect the book so it could become a New York Times bestseller. And when you're reading these things, after a while you start to pick up on it and you start enhancing your vocabulary. Not only can this help in your everyday life, because just talking better just helps people understand you more, it can also help people perceive you in a different way than usually. When you usually talk and you don't have a lot of words to say, a lot of times people might not take you seriously. But if you have a broad vocabulary, chances are even employers will view you as a more confident person, which should trickle down and actually lead to bigger promotions and all types of things. So having a broad vocabulary is definitely important, and that's one thing that books will definitely help you have. The last thing, and the last reason why I think reading books is great and it changed my life, is because not only are you learning when you read these books, you can pass the information on. Now, this is something that you can't really do with audiobooks, and one of the reasons why I really stress the idea of actually buying books yourself in the physical form, because when you buy books in the physical form, you can pass on information that might be useful in somebody else's life. So for instance, let's say somebody's having a problem with their finances and they don't know what to do. Instead of you trying to tell them and walk through step by step, you could just hand them a book and they instantly have a pro in their hands that could tell them exactly what they're doing wrong, exactly what they need to do here and here and here, so they can actually benefit from this. And that's just absolutely great. I think that information is just very valuable to have, because a lot of times when people are trying to search for information, they'll stumble on the wrong things. They'll stumble on like bad information, which is really hard to do when you're actually reading a book, because bad information, it's really hard to come by when you buy something. Because if it's a New York Times bestseller, chances are The author has a lot of credibility and they know what they're talking about, and they spent years literally just researching this topic. So it is absolutely great to have and to pass on to somebody, and maybe you can benefit, they can benefit from that as well. I appreciate y'all for watching the video. Make sure you like the video, hit the like button. Make sure you like my content. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm coming out with more content every single week, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. You want to be notified every time I post a video. I appreciate y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Have fun reading.